Alright, for you guys that keep asking me how to remove bearings, we're going to do that today. And install bearings. So you need a plastic cutting board, common sense, and a torch. I don't have money for those expensive bearing pullers that cost 200 bucks Canadian, so deal with that garbage. And do it the old school way. You don't need your torch super high, but with a little bit of a decent flame, keep it moving. There's bearings hanging out on the crank and the freezer behind me. This engine has been sitting in water for probably a few weeks. I had a bucket of old parts I was sitting outside, so I'm just going to use it as a candidate. That's why you hear that sizzling noise. That's just water. Keep that heat moving. Don't want to go too crazy hot. Get yourself an oven mitt. One. There's two. Old bearings out. This engine here has it's very hot. There's an oil hole right there. You want to run a pin through that. Make sure the oil hole that goes in your intake port is completely clear. Clean everything 100%. Use brake parts cleaner, a pin, toothbrush. Make sure you get this 100% spotless. It's just for demonstration purposes. All right, we're gonna install them now. Here's our bearings. You want the sealed face pointing in on the crank. See, that side's sealed. This side's not. And we want a drop of afterrun oil. Like that. Oh, don't drop it in the sink. Okay, heat this guy up a little bit more. Even heat, keep the heat flowing. Right, so our frozen bearings. The front one should drop right in, like that. Take your rear bearing on the crank, and drop it right through. Let it cool down. That's it, just like that. And give a little tug on the front of the crankshaft to make sure the rear bearing's seated. And now, let it cool down to room temperature. Don't quench this with water or anything, just leave it sit and cool. But that's how we do bearings, real quick and easy. Like I said, it takes a few minutes of common sense with a torch. Some afterrun oil, plastic cutting board. Don't piss off your wife. Same thing goes for basically any engine, doesn't matter what it is. This engine's a 20-year-old HPI. It could be that Nova Rossi. It could be anything you want. So, like I said, just freeze your crankshaft and bearings first before you do it. It makes a hell of a lot easier. Then so you have your seal side facing out. You can always use your crankshaft as an installing tool. There's the old bearings. Like I said, super easy. Nothing to it. Anyways, guys, at the healing bench here, take it easy, keep burning nitro as always.